Hi everyone, welcome to TechFerment and I'm Raj. In this video, I'm going to talk about cloud functions. So what is a cloud functions for Firebase? So before talking about the cloud functions, so as you know already, with the help of Firebase, you can build anything on different platform. So Firebase is providing a lot of services, like you can use Firebase as a database, or you can use Firebase as authenticating the user, or storing data, or maybe you can host your applications. But sometimes you just need to write your custom business logic in terms of accessing a different third-party services or any other things. So that's why Firebase cloud functions came into the picture, where you can write your custom business logic. So one of the best thing about cloud functions is you just need to focus on the code part and deploy it, and remaining you don't need to manage the infrastructure or scaling your own server or any other things. And you can write your cloud functions with JavaScript or TypeScript, with the help of cloud functions you can access the different services within a Firebase, like you can get the data from real-time database, authentication kind of details, or you can trigger a push notifications with the help of cloud functions. You can get the analytics data. So you can access different services within a Firebase with the help of cloud functions. You can use cloud functions in a four-way. First, you can go for the cloud functions, call the cloud functions via HTTP request. Means there will be a URL, so where you can call the functions. So like maybe you can create a REST APIs with the help of HTTP request kind of cloud functions. And the second, you can trigger the cloud functions background. Maybe it's a event based cloud functions. So for example, a user has registered or creating their account, so maybe you can trigger a cloud functions based on that event. And the third one is you can call the cloud functions directly in your applications. And the fourth, you can schedule your cloud functions based on the time. So how you can start? So this is a simple step. First, you have to go to the Firebase, and then you need to create a project. And then you need two things, like first is Node.js. So you have to install your Node.js in your local machine, and then you need to install Firebase CLI, and then you need to config or initialize the Firebase CLI with your Google account. And then you need to initialize your project, and then select cloud functions, and then you need to import the required module or initialize the applications, and then you can write your functions, and that's it. And if you want to deploy your cloud functions, you just need to type the command firebase deploy -- only functions. So this is the step you can create a cloud functions. So now we'll jump to the demo part. We will cover the two topics, like you can call the cloud functions via HTTP request, and we'll cover the second part, trigger cloud functions in the background. I have already created this project in Firebase console. So this is my Firebase project. So what I'll do, I'll go to the VS Code editor, and I have already installed Node.js and Firebase CLI. So I'll just go to the terminal, or I can open the folder. Now I'll go to the terminal, and then I have already installed Firebase CLI. So what I'll do, I can just type Firebase init for initializing the Firebase project. So I'll type Firebase init. So it will ask you, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I'm ready to proceed. And then you have to select cloud functions, and then press enter. And then you have two options. Either you can go for the existing project, or you can create your own project right now. So I'll go for the existing project. So my project name is cloud functions, this one, TF cloud functions. I'll just select and then press enter. Yeah, so as you know, like we have already explained, like you can write your cloud functions with the two languages, like you can go for the JavaScript or TypeScript. So right now we'll show you how we can create cloud functions with the help of JavaScript. So I'll select JavaScript, and then press enter. And this one is for the ESLint. Right now we are not working with ESLint, so I'll just type n, and then it will ask you to install the dependency. So yes, we need to install the dependency. So my cloud functions initialize successfully, and then go to the directory. So we have functions. Inside functions we have a file, index.js file. So this is the index.js file where we have a module for the cloud functions, and this is a comment logic. And then we have a package.json file where we can add dependencies. And right now we are using two dependencies. The first one is cloud functions, and then we have a Firebase admin SDK. So this is the cloud functions. Here we have to write our logic. So as I told you, like we can use Firebase cloud functions in a four-way. Like either you can go for the HTTP cloud functions, like there will be a URL, and through that URL you can access the cloud functions. Now what I'll do, I'll uncomment this logic, and yeah, so we have a sample code. As I explained, you can use cloud functions in a four-way. Either first one is you can go for the HTTP request, means there will be a URL and you can call the functions through that URL. So this is an example for the HTTP request cloud functions. So we have a function's name is hello world, and then we have a logic for the HTTP cloud functions. So this is a logic. So we are using cloud functions, so that's why we have written functions, and then inside we have HTTPS, and then we have to invoke this method like on request, and having a two parameter as a callback, like request and response. And then if you have a experience with Node.js or Express, so we can print the output with the help of response.send method. Inside we have a string. Now we need to deploy this cloud functions. What you can do, you can go to the terminal, and then you need to type Firebase deploy only hosting, not hosting functions. So I'll just type functions. So one thing before deploying our cloud functions, you just need a Blaze account for accessing a cloud function services. So I have already used Blaze account, means pay as a go service. So we'll go to the terminal and then press enter for deploying a cloud functions. So we have to wait for a minute for deploying a cloud functions. Yes, it's going to deploy. Yeah, my cloud functions is deployed. So what you can do, you can go to the browser, and then we have a Firebase console, and then you can go to the host, functions part, and yeah, so this is a cloud functions is deploy, and this is a HTTP cloud functions. So this is a URL. I'll just copy this URL, and I will open this URL in the browsers to invoke this function. So my function's name is hello words, and this is output. So this is how you can call HTTP cloud functions. Now you can also create a REST API with the help of these cloud functions. So what you'll do, we can create an object. Let's say object is data, and then inside we have a two field property like name. So maybe here we can pass a name means S1, and then age is, maybe you can pass the age is 23. And what you can do here, you can use as an output, like you can write response.json. So that will look like as a API. So I'll save, and I will deploy this part again. So my cloud functions is deploy. I'll just go to the Firebase console, and this is a URL. I will call this URL once again, and this will give me the JSON data. So yes, you can create a REST API with the help of HTTP cloud functions. You can also collect the data from Cloud Firestore and print the data through the HTTP cloud functions. So what we have to do, first we need to import the module Firebase admin SDK. So we have this module already added in the dependency Firebase admin, and then you need to initialize the applications. So through this you can initialize the applications, and then when we are calling this cloud functions, what we have to do, we have to read the data from the Firestore. So I'll just type admin. Inside admin we are using Firestore, and then we need to define a collection. So I need to read the data from this collections, and then we have a document. So we have to read the data from maybe data as a document. And for reading a data, so we have to use this method, and this will give you the document. Yes, I'll just type doc, and this will work as a callback, and we can print the data here. So what we have to do, we'll go for the Firebase console, and in the Cloud Firestore, we'll create a database, and this one is for the testing mode. And yes, we will create this database. Yeah, so my database is ready. Now we can create a collections. Name is edata, and then we have a document which is a data, and then we have a two field name, and here we'll add a name is equal to maybe cloud functions, and here you can add age. So maybe here you can add age is equal to maybe anything, something age, and then we'll save. And then we have a collections name is edata. Inside we have a document data, and then we have a two field. So this is a document we are getting, and then we need to read the data. So let name is equal to, we'll write this doc inside accessing a data. So we have to use .data method, and this will give you this entire object. So we'll use .name. I'll just dot the name, and same for the age. So we'll write age is equal to doc dot data, and then we'll write age. Okay, so same thing we have to do. So I'll just cut this logic, and I will paste it here. Like we'll create a data as an object. Here we will pass the name, and for here we'll pass the age. Okay, and then what we have to do, we have to cut this logic, and we have to paste it here. And yes, I can remove this one. So this is a simple logic for reading a data from Cloud Firestore, and we will send the data through the JSON through via this function, HTTP functions. So we'll deploy this cloud function. So we'll go to the terminal, and then we'll type Firebase deploy only hosting function. Okay, my functions is deploy. I'll go to the cloud functions. We'll copy this URL again, and here we will paste the URL into the browser, and we will call this functions. So this functions is we are getting data from the caches. So yes, it's working. So the data is coming from the Cloud Firestore. So what we'll do, we will go to the Cloud Firestore, and here this is a edata as a collections, and then we have a data. So here let's suppose we'll write cloud function space and then 2, and then update, and once you reload this URL you will get the new data. So this is how you can create a cloud functions through HTTP service or request, and you can use cloud functions to creating a REST API. Now we'll show you and the second way you can trigger background cloud functions. So like for example, when you add a data into Cloud Firestore, you can trigger that functions background. So what you can do, you can go to the documentation, get started for the web, and then when you go to the cloud functions part, this one, yeah, and then we have a section trigger background functions. So we are working on cloud firestore. So like you can trigger a cloud functions when the user will add a data in an xyz collection, so you can invoke that functions. So we have an event type, like we can use on event, on update, on delete, and on write. So we can call the functions based on create event, or on update, on delete, or on write method on this database. So what I'll do, I will create collections, like if there is no collection. So what I'll do, I'll create a new function. So I'll just write exports, and then my function's name is data, and then we are using functions, so we have to use functions. And then we need to invoke the functions from Firestore. So I'll just edit Firestore, and then we need to define a document. So which document we need to invoke functions. So here maybe we can write a new collection. So like my collection's name is a sum, and then here's a ID. Like inside some collections collection, if there is any data like document, so we need to invoke a functions based on the event. So we have a event like on create, on update, on delete, and on write. So we will use on create method, means it will trigger when a document is written for the first time. So we'll just type on create method, and then it will give you as a callback functions or a parameters. So we'll use snap, and then we have a context. So we have with JavaScript arrow functions, so we can get the data so for that document. So let's suppose like I will create a function, collections name is sum, inside have a document anything having a two field A and B, so we can collect the data. So we have a snap will work as a document, and then we have a data. So I'll write as a value is snap.data.a. okay, and we need to convert that data to the integer. So we'll just write parse int, so and then we'll wrap up here. So same for the A and B, here we'll write parse int, and we'll write snap, not this one, snap, not span. So we'll just copy and we'll paste it here, and we'll paste it here, and the data, and this is a method, and then we'll write B. Okay, so now we need to sum this logic. So we'll write C is equal to A plus B, and then we can what we can do, we can create another collections and we can store that data. So what I'll do, so I'll create let data as an object. Here we can pass value of A is equal to A, B is equal to B, and sum is equal to C, and you can print the message like value of A is equal to plus A, and plus, and B, we'll write B equal to then B, and plus symbol, and then equal to, and then C. Okay, so you can print. So what we have to do, we have to write this data into different collections. So what we can do, we'll write the same query. So we are using admin, inside we are using Firestore, and then we have to define a collection. So we will store this data into the result as a collections, and then we need to use add as a method. inside add method will pass this one. And yes, if there is data is added, so we'll get the document. So maybe you can print a document here as a ID, so we'll just type doc.id. And yes, if there is any issue, so we can handle with catch and then block. So we'll just type E and then console.log and we'll type E. Okay, so this is a simple logic. So when the user will add data in this collections, so we are triggering these functions based on create method, where this is an event type. So in the documentations, like when the user, this cloud functions will trigger when a document is written for the first time. And then what we have to do, we will get as a parameter as a callback snap, and then we will collect the document, and then we will get the data from that document, and then we will sum this logic, and then we will create a object for adding a data into another collection. So we have defined a queries. So this is a simple query, and we'll save, and then we'll deploy this cloud functions. Yeah, so my cloud functions is deployed. So we'll go to the this part, and here is a Firebase cloud Firestore. So we have written a logic for where we have a collections name is a sum. So we'll create a sum collections, and inside this collections, whatever the ID of the document, we have a two field. So let's suppose we'll pass the value of A, and we'll pass the value of maybe B is 12, and then we'll save. So our cloud functions will call, the cloud functions name is add data. This function will call, and it will write a logic, will work on this logic, and within a few seconds there is a new collections name is result, and here is a result. Okay, so similarly you can do that, like you can create another document, and like there is a field A and the value is 2, and for B value is 5. So 2 plus 5 is equal to 7. So when we save the data and you go to the result, and there is another document within a few seconds. Yes, we'll wait. So yeah, so there is another document, and then we have a data like this one, 2 and 5, and the value of 2 and 5 is equal to 7, and this one. So this is a way you can invoke the cloud functions. First one is through the HTTP request, and the second is you can trigger a cloud functions based on the event. You can go for the real-time cloud remote config, authentication, analytics, cloud storage, test lab, PubSub. So it's totally up to you, and you can go to the documents. This is a documentation, and then you can explore. So this is all about cloud functions. So like we have explained what is a cloud functions, and then we can use cloud functions in 4 ways. Either you can go for the HTTP request or trigger the cloud functions. You can go to the directly invoke, call the cloud functions directly in your applications, and the fourth one is you can schedule the cloud functions. So if you have any query, you can reach out to me on this video. You can comment your queries, and I would love to answer them. And yes, you can connect with us on the social media. And thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the upcoming video. Thank you.